Now we're going to do a value problem, and here's a chart you need. The columns are number, value, and total, and we're talking about half dollars and nickels, so I've got an H and an N in total. And now a collection of half dollars and nickels is worth $13.40. So there are 34 coins in all. Well, the number of coins then is 34. And how many half dollars, I don't know, so I'll call it H. And how many nickels, I don't know, so I'll call them N nickels. And what's the value of a half dollar? Well, I'm going to talk in terms of cents. So it's 50 cents. And what's the value of a nickel? It's 5 cents. And the reason we're going to talk in cents is so we don't have to deal with decimals. So what's the total? It's 50H. And the total here is 5N. And what's the total value of the money? Well, it's 1,340 cents. And keep in mind, in fact, I'll put that symbol here, cents and cents, to remind you of that. Now, we can construct two equations, and so we know H by this column, H plus N equals 34 coins in all. And we also know, talking about the money, that we have 50H from this column plus 5N equals 1340. Now we have two equations, two unknowns, and we can solve these using elimination or substitution. I'm going to use elimination. So if I multiply every term in this first row by -5, then these n's will divide out. So what we have here is -5H, -5N equals negative, and 34 times 5 is going to be 170, so -170. And now we're going to add that to 50H plus 5N equals 1340. And when we carry out this, or when we add these up, we get 45H equals, and the resulting value is going to be 1170, because 1340 minus 170 is going to be 1170. And so now if H equals 1170 divided by 45, dividing both sides by 45, so H equals 26. Now we know the sum of H and N must be 34. Since H is 26, then the number of nickels must be 8, because 8 and 26 equals 34, and there we've got our solution. For our next value problem, a boy has $2.75 in dimes and quarters. If there are 3 times as many dimes as quarters, how many of each kind has he? Well, I'll call the number of dimes D, and the number of quarters Q. And let's see, let me adjust this. So the number of dimes is D, but that equals 3 times the number of quarters. And what's the value of a dime? Well, it's 10 cents. And we'll deal in cents so we don't have to deal with decimals. The value of a quarter is 25 cents. And what's the total amount of money he has? Well, it's 275 cents. And so the product of 3Q and 10 is 30Q. And the product of Q and 25 is 25Q. So we're just going to get one equation out of this, and that's going to be 30q plus 25q equals 275. And we only have one unknown, so we can solve that. So let's see, we have a total of 55q equals 275. And if we divide both sides by 55, we get q is equal to 5. 5 times 55 is 275. Well, the total number of, let's triple that value and we'll have the number of dimes, because there's 3 times as many dimes as there are quarters. So 3 times 5 is 15. And we've solved for Q and D.